Let's talk waiver wire pitcher, Scott. And the first group, John Means bounced back with a quality start in his third outing. He was up against the Mariners, where he allowed 2 runs over 6 innings, had 4 strikeouts, and might be out there only in shallower leagues, 76% rostered. I know he's one of your sleeper pitchers this week at the White Sox. Obviously, a great matchup there.
No, I actually bumped him from the list for 2 reasons. He's been bumped to facing the Cardinals now. Still a really good matchup. Not as good as the White Sox. Look, Means is still probably the best 1-start pitcher who might be available on the waiver wire. But the other reason I bumped him is because another 2-start pitcher got added. Dean Kramer, his teammate, who gets both the White Sox and the Cardinals.
Oof, that's pretty good.
So that bump Means off the list, unfortunately. But now, good start for Means over the weekend. He is looking like every way we want John Means to look. In that he got 11 whiffs on 95 pitches. If he has a rate like that, he's going to be fine. Didn't walk anybody. Of course, we don't want John Means doing that. He's got to be an elite control pitcher to live up to his upside. And, 8 of the 11 whiffs are on the changeup. So that pitch is playing up like it's supposed to. He looks like the best John. He looks like the best version of John Means, and I think needs to be picked up most everywhere.
Mackenzie Gore has turned in back-to-back quality starts. He was at the Phillies, 6 1/3 innings, 2 runs allowed, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The ERA 3.30, that's good. 138 WHIP. Obviously, that's pretty high there for Mackenzie Gore. Christian Scott, I have him on this list. He didn't pitch well. He actually let us down. Great matchup at the Marlins. 4 innings, 4 runs allowed, 3 strikeouts. He allowed a home run in this one. It's actually back-to-back starts allowing a home run, which will be an issue for Christian Scott at times, but the fact that he's 71% rostered, I feel like we just need to continue mentioning his name until that number is higher. And Alek Manoah has now turned in 2 strong starts in a row and maybe turning a corner here. He was up against Tampa Bay, where he threw 7 shutout innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And I didn't watch this game live, but I caught the highlights, Scott, and all the pitches looked so crisp. Mm-hmm. He was getting great movement on that slider. It looked like a borderline slurve, almost like Jose Barrios' slurve. It looked like the best that I've seen in a while.
I actually did watch some of that Alek Manoah start, and one of the Blue Jays broadcasters mentioned that. It kind of looked like Jose Barrios's, so you're spot on there with that. Okay, so what are you going to ask me about these guys? Who do I want to pick up the most?
How do you rank this group? Manoah, Christian Scott, Mackenzie Gore, and John Means.
I will say Christian Scott won, obviously. I don't know why that roster rate isn't getting any higher, but it eventually will because he'll get enough strikeouts to justify it. John Means number 2. Let's go Manoah 3 here. I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing. I have claims in for him in every league where he's still available, which is only the shallower ones. 1 hit in 7 innings, 1 walk in 7 innings. He mentioned after that last start that was so good that he focused on throwing more strikes and trusting his defense, and it seemed like that continued. So that start was 71% strikes. This start against the Rays, the one hitter, was 67% strikes. Still very good. Compare that to his first start off the IL when he threw only 57% for strikes, which is very, very bad. So it's gone from 57 to 71 to 67. The strike percentage for Alek Manoah. And I believe last year was something like 61. So it was on the bad end of the spectrum. I'll confirm that real quick. It was a 61% rate, yes, for Manoah last year. So he is trending the right direction in terms of strike throwing, and the stuff looks great from our eye test, at least.
Mm-hmm. The next group, not nearly as exciting, includes Chris Paddack, who had a great start at the Guardians. 8 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, had 14 swinging strikes. And Paddack is a tough one to figure out right now. I feel like we say that after every start. I mean, he's alternated some great starts mixed in with some really bad starts, and that's why he has a 4.47 ERA in the season. He's 56% rostered, and he is a SPARP on CBS. Tyler Anderson continues to find a way to get it done. He was at the Rangers, 7 innings, 1 run, 4 strikeouts. He's might be one of these guys where he just outperforms the peripheral numbers all season long, or a large majority of them, because the FIP, the xERA, none of them believe what Tyler Anderson is doing right now. Patrick Sandoval had a strong start at the Rangers, 6 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts with 13 swinging strikes, and he continues to fade that fastball, use the changeup and the slider more. 4 starts in May for Sandoval, a 2.63 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. And Jose Soriano had one of his best starts yet. He was at Texas as well, 7 2/3, 1 run, 5 strikeouts there. He's down to a 3.30 ERA, but it's a 1.23 WHIP. I think that number is always going to be high because he does walk quite a bit of batters. But Scott, any legitimate interest in this group? Soriano, Sandoval, Paddack, and Tyler Anderson.
I would say the most interesting to me is Paddack, with following this 8 3-hit innings against the Guardians. And this was his 3rd start in 4 that was very, very good. And I noticed what the very, very good starts have in common for Chris Paddack is at least 20% slider usage. When he leans into that pitch more, good things happen. And hopefully he's getting that message because, again, he was back to throwing it 21% of the time in this start after kind of shying away from it in the previous one. So 3 of the 4, great for Paddack with the help of the slider. I like how that's looking. After him, Sandoval, probably for the reasons you already pointed out. When he shies away from the fastball, good things happen, and he's been doing that pretty well lately. Between Tyler Anderson and Jose Soriano, they're distant 3 and 4 here on this list. I have no faith in Tyler Anderson. I don't see what he's doing well. I mean, all the ERA estimators are around 5, which, they don't see what he's doing well either. And maybe he'll continue to defy expectations, but I think it's all going to come crashing down at some point. And I don't want to be left holding the bag on Tyler Anderson. So by default, I'll go Jose Soriano, who I do think has pretty good upside. He's kind of like Patrick Sandoval in that he probably needs to throw his fastball or sinker, in his case, less. I think it's a sinker in both their cases, but whatever, some form of fastball less. And he actually upped the usage in this one, 48%. So not the approach we want to see Jose Soriano take, but it worked out this one time against the Rangers. He had a good start. Okay, good for him. I still don't think he has it all together. So Jose Soriano is probably somebody you can leave on waivers in most leagues.
This last group includes Michael Lorenzen, who turned in a quality start against the Angels, 6 1/3, 2 runs allowed, 6 strikeouts there. He's got a 3.61 ERA and a 1.20 WHIP. But like Tyler Anderson, the ERA estimator is not really buying it with Michael Lorenzen. Logan T. Allen turned in a great start against the Twins, 6 shutout with 7 strikeouts there. Matt Waldron struck out a career-high 10 at the Atlanta Braves, 5 2/3 innings, 1 run, 10 strikeouts, 13 swinging strikes. And Bailey Falter had a strong start at the Cubs, 7 2/3 shutout, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in that one. I think more deep league stuff here, Scott, but anything that you saw interesting from Lorenzen, Logan Allen, Waldron, and Bailey Falter?
I don't know how Falter is having success either. I don't think he can get away with these 1 strikeout outings. I guess it was 2 strikeouts in this case, but
how dare you undersell Bailey Falter, Scott?
Yeah. No, I don't want to be holding the bag on that one either. I did notice with Michael Lorenzen that he threw more cutters and fewer sliders in this start. And I think that's noteworthy because his slider has been awful. Came into Sunday with a 4.17 batting average against. So it might be in his best interest to fade that pitch. He did in this start, got good results. Still think the upside's pretty limited with Lorenzen. I would rather have Jose Soriano. I'd rather have Tyler Anderson probably from the previous group than Lorenzen. But at least there's something to point to and say, okay, maybe this is why Lorenzen was decent this time out. Matt Waldron, I want to mention him, the knuckleballer, the league's representative knuckleballer right now. Had that great outing against the Braves, 10 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. And I think it was his second good outing in a row, but still like a 5 ERA on the year. I think exactly 5. And the Braves offense is just miserable right now, other than Ozuna. You look up and down that great lineup, that star-studded lineup, and everybody has a 600-something OPS. It was going to improve, but yeah, I think Waldron caught them at a good time and took advantage.